Boeing. For decades, the name has been synonymous with innovation, with pushing the boundaries of aviation, but recently that image has taken a serious hit. Tonight, we're diving deep into the most shocking Boeing incidents of 2024. It was a routine flight, or so they thought. January 5th, 2024, Alaska Airlines Flight 1282, a Boeing 737 MAX, departed Seattle, destination Honolulu. On board, 176 passengers, many dreaming of a Hawaiian escape, unaware of the terror that awaited them. Mid-flight, cruising altitude, a deafening roar ripped through the cabin. Oxygen masks dropped, panic ensued. A door panel, designed to hold, had blown out, causing a sudden decompression. Imagine the fear, the chaos inside that cabin. Passengers gasping for air, clutching their loved ones, the terrifying uncertainty of what was happening.
The pilots, facing a life-or-death situation, acted swiftly. An emergency descent was initiated, the aircraft plummeting towards Portland International Airport.
The 737 MAX, already under intense scrutiny following previous incidents, was once again in the spotlight. Through it all, the pilots maintained their composure, guiding the damaged aircraft to a safe landing. On the ground, emergency crews rushed to the scene. 7 passengers and 1 crew member sustained minor injuries. The investigation pointed to a maintenance error, a single bolt improperly secured. For Boeing, it was another blow, another crack in their once impeccable self in a terrifying predicament. This time, it was an Atlas Air 747 freighter, a workhorse of the skies. As the massive aircraft roared down the runway at Miami International Airport, the familiar rhythm of takeoff was shattered by an ear-splitting explosion. Flames erupted from the left inboard engine, sending a shockwave across the airfield. Witnesses described a scene of chaos and disbelief as the crippled 747 struggled to gain altitude, trailing smoke and fire.
Inside the cockpit, the experienced crew remained calm, their training taking over as they fought to control the stricken aircraft. A mayday call was issued, the universal signal of distress. The malfunctioning engine was shut down, but the danger was far from over. With one engine out, the 747 was significantly overweight, its ability to stay airborne compromised. The pilots faced a critical decision: attempt to continue the flight or return to Miami for an emergency landing.
Choosing the safest course of action, the crew expertly maneuvered the damaged 747 back towards the airport. With incredible skill and nerves of steel, the pilots executed a textbook landing, bringing the crippled freighter to a safe stop. The cause of the explosion was later determined to be an improperly secured bore scope plug, a critical component overlooked during maintenance. March 7th, 2024, a day that would be etched into the memories of many. San Francisco International Airport, abuzz with activity, was a hive of travelers and staff, and it was about to witness a scene straight out of an aviation nightmare. United Airlines Flight 35, a Boeing 777 bound for New York City, was preparing for takeoff. On board, hundreds of passengers, their minds filled with business meetings or family vacations, settled into their seats, chatting and stowing away their luggage, unaware of the drama that was about to unfold, the calm before the storm.
As the 777 accelerated down the runway, the engines roared to life, gaining speed with every passing second. Disaster struck in an instant. A loud bang echoed across the airfield, startling everyone, followed by a shower of sparks and debris. The unthinkable had happened. The aircraft had lost a tire, a critical component, now gone.
Inside the cockpit, alarms blared, piercing the tense atmosphere. Warning lights illuminated the instrument panel, casting an eerie glow, and the unmistakable smell of burning rubber filled the air, adding to the chaos. The pilots, their training put to the ultimate test, remained focused, were now facing a critical situation. Every second counted. With the aircraft already airborne, there was no turning back. They had to make a split-second decision: attempt to land immediately with a damaged landing gear, or continue the flight to a safer alternative. The stakes were incredibly high. Choosing caution over haste, we contacted air traffic control,
declaring an emergency and requesting permission to divert to Los Angeles International Airport. The tension was palpable. The decision was made, and the course was set.
What followed was a tense 45 minutes as the crippled 777 circled over the Pacific Ocean, burning off precious fuel to reduce its landing weight. Every minute felt like an eternity. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The tension was at its peak. With incredible precision, the pilots guided the 777 onto the runway, the damaged landing gear holding just long enough for a safe touchdown. Relief washed over everyone. The cause of the tire detachment was later attributed to a maintenance issue, a worn-out axle nut that had gone unnoticed during routine inspections. A small oversight with massive consequences. As KLM Flight 1074, a Boeing 737, approached Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport, the bustling hub of European travel, the passengers on board had every reason to believe they were moments away from a smooth landing. The skies were clear and the anticipation of arrival was palpable. But high above the picturesque Dutch countryside, a silent malfunction was about to turn their routine flight into a terrifying ordeal. The serenity of the flight was shattered in an instant.
As we initiated the landing sequence, preparing to extend the aircraft's flaps, a crucial component for reducing speed and increasing lift, disaster struck. The flaps, essential for a safe landing, failed to deploy correctly. The flaps, instead of deploying smoothly, malfunctioned, sending a jolt through the aircraft and triggering a cascade of warning alarms within the cockpit. The sudden malfunction created a chaotic atmosphere. Suddenly, the 737 was no longer descending gracefully but fighting to stay aloft, its ability to maintain a controlled approach severely compromised. The aircraft was now in a precarious situation.
The pilots, their years of training kicking in, reacted instantly, aborting the landing and struggling to regain control of the aircraft. Their quick thinking was crucial in those critical moments. With the flaps jammed, the 737's drag increased dramatically, causing it to burn through fuel at an alarming rate. The situation was becoming increasingly dire.
We declared a pan-pan to air traffic control, signaling a situation requiring immediate attention but not yet life-threatening. The urgency in our voices was unmistakable.
On the ground, air traffic controllers scrambled to clear the airspace, creating a safe corridor for the stricken aircraft. Their coordination was vital for the safety of everyone on board. Just when all hope seemed lost, the pilots, through a combination of skill and determination, managed to partially resolve the flap issue, enough to attempt another landing. Their expertise was truly put to the test. With incredible precision, they guided the crippled 737 onto the runway, their relief palpable as the aircraft touched down safely. The ordeal was finally over, and everyone on board could breathe a sigh of relief. The night sky over Istanbul shimmered with the lights of one of the world's most vibrant cities, a city that never sleeps. For the crew of FedEx Flight 6238, a Boeing 767-300 freighter, it was just another night, another routine approach to a familiar destination, a flight path they had navigated countless times before. But as the aircraft descended through the darkness, the calm of the night was about to be shattered. A subtle warning light on the instrument panel transformed their routine cargo run into a fight for survival.
The nose gear, responsible for supporting the front of the aircraft during landing, was malfunctioning, a critical failure. Inside the cockpit, we sprang into action, our years of training taking over as adrenaline coursed through our veins. We ran through checklists, attempting to diagnose the problem, hoping for a quick fix, our voices calm but firm as we communicated with air traffic control, detailing our situation.
The initial assessment was grim. The nose gear was not deploying properly, threatening to collapse upon landing, a scenario no pilot wants to face. The 767, laden with tons of cargo, was in imminent danger of a catastrophic crash.
On the ground, emergency crews raced towards the designated runway, their lights flashing, their sirens wailing. A symphony of urgency against the backdrop of the city's twinkling lights, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding. With each passing moment, the tension in the cockpit grew thicker, the weight of the situation pressing down on us. We knew that our next decision could mean the difference between life and death.
Choosing to buy precious time, the crew initiated a series of maneuvers, attempting to dislodge the malfunctioning nose gear, hoping against hope that gravity would be on their side, that a miracle would happen. Their efforts, however, proved futile. The nose gear remained stubbornly locked, refusing to cooperate, a mechanical defiance. With fuel running low and options dwindling, the pilots faced a stark choice. attempt a risky belly landing, praying that the aircraft would skid to a halt, avoiding a